everybody. So first of all, I hope everybody's doing well and safe during these weird times. So this is Madrid Talk PH, where the members of Peña Madridista de Filipinas can all hang out and discuss the different news surrounding the club. And this is an online activity which is open to all Peña members to share their personal thoughts and analysis surrounding our club, Real Madrid. This was started last season during COVID and with the viewing party suspended because of protocols. I think this activity has been very successful. I can bet the regulars do enjoy the show. So without further ado, welcome to Madrid Talk PH episode 1 of season 2. We are here to focus to discuss a team preview for the upcoming La Liga season. There will be a few topics to be discussed. We'll start with the transfers and returnees, then move on to the impact of our returnees, then tactics and potential lineups. Then we'll discuss Rival Watch, where we can discuss critical games and possible dark horses for this year. And last, I will go around every attendee and ask who would be the key player for Real Madrid's potential back-to-back La Liga title. So as we all know, a few key players who won't be part of the upcoming season are no longer with us. We got a few big names and a few young and upcoming talents that were sold or either loaned out. So notable team departures, we got Gareth Bale on loan to Tottenham, James Rodriguez to Everton, Sergio Reguilón to Tottenham as well. Hakimi Archep to Inter, Dani Ceballos loaned back to Arsenal for another year. So who do you think we will miss the most? Or will we even miss them? Let me call on Mikey. Mikey, who do you think? Who are we going to miss the most? Or are we going to miss them?
Miss the most? Honestly, I don't think so. I mean, we won the league without any of them, right? So I don't really think we're going to miss any of them. I mean, it's sad that some of them had to leave, because especially Bale, James. I think it's sad the way how things turned out with Bale. I think with both players, we all know that they could have, with their quality, at top level, and they've performed. We know they can perform, but for certain issues, which we don't really know what they are, sometimes we read stuff on the press, on all these different sites we follow, but I don't think a lot of them isn't true. A lot of them are just giving their own opinions, but they don't know what's really going on in the dressing room with Zidane and them personally. So I think things could have done better between both sides, from the players' point of view, and from Zidane, and maybe from the higher ranks of the team. Maybe things could have done better, but at the end of the day, I think, well, I'm one of them, and most of the fans here of Real Madrid, in surveys on Marca and AS and in different talk shows, they're sick and tired of the whole Bale issue. It's been tiring already, but I know he's a great player, and I wish things didn't turn out the way they did, and he was still there, but wala na. I mean, I think nothing can be changed anymore, and like I said, I guess he has his own issues with Zidane, and Zidane as a coach, he's not going to shoot his own foot by not putting them if they're really going to perform. And I think in the last year, he's put them to play. He's made them play. Bale even began the season starting, but I mean, we've seen it. He didn't show. He didn't. It wasn't there. It wasn't there anymore. So yeah. I think it's good. I mean, finally he's gone, and Real Madrid. In one of I think last month, in an interview of Bale, he was complaining that he wanted to go last year, but Real Madrid's making things difficult for him. He came out. I even posted it in the private group. It's not Real Madrid. It's him making it difficult for himself. He's not performing well. How are you going to sell a player like that? Real Madrid paid so much money for him. At one point, he was the most expensive player in the world. You're not going to let him go just like that. Diba? It's not going to happen. Just like with the whole Messi issue. Messi wanted to leave for free. Nobody was going to pay anything Barca, so he ended up staying. But he doesn't want to be there. So anyway, going back to Bale, he wasn't. Real Madrid wasn't going to get a single euro this year. So eventually, I think it's okay. You give him to Tottenham. Real Madrid's still paying him though, and we still, if he does well, and you want him back next season, great. If he does well, and if you don't want him back, at least now after he performs well, his value is going to increase again. So you can make some money back at least. If Mourinho gets to get the best out of him. So I think it's all right. With James, same thing. He had issues with Zidane, but one thing I didn't like also is like the last few games last year, he himself was telling Zidane, if I'm not going to play, don't bring me to the game. So as a professional, I think that's wrong too. Parang, you got to try to, at least until the last minute, fight for that spot.
Yeah.
Show that, that character that you want to play. But if you just give up saying, I don't want to be in the lineup if you're not going to put me, parang, what does that show?
Yeah.
So, they sold him to Everton. They got 30 million maybe. So at least, in these times in COVID, hardly any teams making money with sales. And I think Real Madrid, so I think the team that's been making the most, in this summer, because if you even look at Bayern Munich, they sold Thiago Alcantara yesterday to Liverpool, which is a great signing for 30 million, which is, he just won the Champions League and he's been performing with, I wouldn't have minded Real Madrid getting him, so I think Real Madrid has done well with Ashraf, with what they're doing with Reguilon, with what they did with James, with some players. So
I think, I get where you're coming from, especially I think James was earning around 10 million euros a year, along with Bale, who was earning 18. So they had pretty a substantial high salary, and they weren't even playing. So yeah.
And times are hard, man. Not just for us,
Exactly,
but also for Real
exactly,
Madrid, who
exactly.
without playing at the Bernabeu and without they're making like 300 million. They're missing around 300 million euros this season. That's a lot of money. That's you can buy Mbappe with that.
True.
Good evening. I heard that Sky Sports mentioned that Tottenham is paying the 20 million of Bale, so Real Madrid is actually paying zero wage. Is that correct?
No, Real Madrid's paying his salary.
I think they'll be paying maybe half of his salary.
Yeah, half.
Maybe,
And then I think
We don't know the exact details of the contract, but
in the reports, Tottenham also paid a loan fee.
They might have paid a little, but I can guarantee you, Real Madrid is paying most of it.
It's true.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Let me move on to our next attendee. Let me call on Alvin. So Alvin, from our recent departures, who do you think we would miss the most?
I don't think I'm gonna miss this four because they have a lot of issues, especially with Bale and James, because as Sir Mikey have mentioned, they have a lot of issues with Zidane. So and honestly,
sorry, please just call me Mikey, not Sir.
Yeah, okay. Sorry. As Mikey have said, Gareth and James have a lot of issues with Zidane, especially for me. Honestly, I'm really hurt with like that Wales Golf Madrid thing. I mean, it still resounds in my mind that for me when a club gives you a lot, they paid you a lot of money coming from Tottenham and uh, paid you at some time. You're the most expensive player in the world. You played big games, you scored in big games. Then all of a sudden, when you got in conflict with your manager, you just do those things. It's like childish to me. So it really hurts me as a Madridista. You don't do that to our club. You know, you I think you might agree with me with that. Um, so I think Bale, I think he deserves this loan so that he can think about things what he did. But I think I've already read it a while back that Zidane said sometime that what Bale did to Madrid will never be erased. So for me, that the Champions Leagues, the Bartra making the Bartra thing is still running until now. that thing. So I think those are memorable ones. But at this moment in time, I think Bale should think about those things. I hope he will do well at Tottenham, his old stomping ground. Uh, and then James, given his relationship with Ancelotti, I think he will do well with
He
Ancelotti's
scored.
system.
He
Yeah,
just scored right now.
yeah, he just scored. So I mean, with the relationship with the relationship with the Ancelotti, I certainly he will do those things. He will score. He will assist. He will be a household name, probably in Everton. Who knows? But with his performances, I think he will. Reguilon, uh, is he going on loan on Tottenham already, or is it finalized?
It's a buy. They buy him for
Mm-hmm.
30 million plus, but Real
Mm-hmm.
Madrid has the first option to buy him back at between 30 to 40 million, which is
Okay.
you just get your
Okay.
money back.
Okay. I think it's a good deal. For me,
It
Reguilon
is
is, yeah, it is a good deal.
because he's
For
not gonna
me,
play
he
in
deserves
Madrid.
that. He deserves that payout. Because as we all know, he is a Europa League champion with Sevilla, and he did really well in there. I've watched the whole game. He was really good. I hope he will come back anytime soon, and not thinking of leaving our club permanently.
No,
Yeah,
he won't. He
yeah,
won't. The problem
Yeah.
with Reguilon, guys, is Marcelo.
yes, Marcelo. Yeah.
Zidane is not gonna get rid of Marcelo yet until a year at least. So
Mm,
and he likes Mendy a lot. So if he keeps Reguilon's not gonna play. He's
yes,
not gonna
yes.
get to improve. So Reguilon, he needs playing time. So
Mm,
this loan is perfect. It works perfectly for Madrid because Reguilon gets playing time. In a pretty good league, the Premier League,
mm-mm.
in a
The,
decent team. So it works both ways. And next year, if Marcelo is gone, Reguilon's back. Simple.
Ceballos, I think he did well also in Arsenal. And for me, if I'm the gaffer of this team, I would rather have Ceballos out on loan for some time, because we have, I think, Cruz and Modric. Modric, sometimes, I'm thinking of Modric as one of those players that sometimes underperforms. Although it wasn't that much, he's still a world class midfielder. And Cruz is still fixing his hair. It's like it's nothing, but he's one of the best in the business right now. So I don't think that Ceballos would still fit in Zidane's system, but who knows? What Zidane's plan
Come,
for
yeah. I mean,
Ceballos.
I think for Danny
Yeah.
Ceballos come out next year. I mean, I think Tony Cruz, he's I think turning 29, in a year.
31.
Third, oh, 31. Oh my
Oh,
God, 29.
wow.
31.
So yeah, I mean, he maybe
Actually, the
has, yeah,
Madrid's midfield is really old.
yeah. So like
Yeah.
like with Tony Cruz, maybe he has maybe 2 years left, in top flight football, and
Mm-mm.
you never know. The services of Danny Ceballos may be needed.
Maybe I
He
need
will
it.
he will be needed soon enough when probably Cruz or Modric will fall out.
I
Not
think
fall out
Modric's
like
gone next year.
Yeah, but Modric wants to retire as a Madridista, so he wants to give way to younger players.
Next year, wala na si
So
Modric for
it's
sure.
okay for him to be a
mm.
rotation player.
So to sum it up, these four players, for me, they deserve this situation. They have a lot of issues, and for some players, they need these breaks with those teams that they are in right now, especially in Tottenham. Man, I'm a big Mourinho fan.
Mhm.
I must say that. And I've said it many times already during my time that Mourinho is still one of the best managers in the world, and I think he can make a Gareth Bale again. The beast as he used to be, and Reguilon, he can still bring out the best in Reguilon. Reguilon is
Yeah.
one of the players that I'm really keeping an eye on. I hope that
Yes.
he will do
Yes.
well in Tottenham, and in Mourinho system. I know he will do
Mhm.
absolutely great in Tottenham. So yeah, that's my take on these
All right.
players.
Hey, thanks, Alvin, for sharing your thoughts. Anybody wants to add to our departures before we move on to the returnees?
For the departures, I mean, we don't, I mean, we can't really miss them that much anymore. But my only thing is that for Bale, we'll just miss the nostalgia, the nostalgia of the wonderful goals he scored, the crucial goals he scored. But overall, with what he did the past few months, he really, tawag dito, talagang nistain niya na yung relationship niya with the club, with the manager. And that really sucked. Because, I mean, for me, Gareth Bale is one of my favorite players, even before joining Madrid. He has been a beast in Tottenham, and he has been a beast in his first season in Madrid. So, I really thought that he would be the heir apparent to Cristiano. But really, things didn't really work out. But
Yeah.
the memory of his wonderful goals will still be there. It's just really sucked that um, it really ended the way it is right now.
It's
Um,
it was
it's
a
really,
very sour ending to his
Guys,
Real Madrid.
guys,
Uh-huh.
one thing you have to realize, Bale and James, they're the ones who's gonna realize how much they're gonna miss Real Madrid.
yeah, I
Okay?
think so.
They're the ones who's gonna lose more than Madrid. They're leaving the best team in the world to go to a mediocre team like Tottenham and Everton. They're the ones who's gonna realize a year from now, Bale, like, shit, what am I, I'm not playing in Real Madrid anymore. I'm missing, they're the ones. Look at every single player who's left Real Madrid. Look at their careers after. Go and check. Since back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, even just recently, Di Maria, Ozil, Kedira. What happened to these people?
Yeah, I
What?
agree with that.
What happened? Even
Um,
Cristiano Ronaldo. What happened to Cristiano Ronaldo? All his Ballon d'Ors, all his Champions Leagues. Where are they now?
it's really tough
Every
leaving
single
him.
player. You're gonna see, like they say here in Spain, how cold it is when you leave Real Madrid. You know, you're the one
Mm,
who's gonna
All
be missing
downhill.
Real Madrid months from now, and
All downhill.
regretting that I didn't do more to stay in the club, in this team. Those
yes.
players are the
Yeah.
ones who are gonna. Real Madrid's gonna keep going and going and winning, and sometimes maybe not winning the Champions League or not winning the league, but eventually they will. And
Uh-huh.
Bale is gone, but next year, once this pandemic is gone, Mbappe's gonna be in the team. And when Mbappe's gone from 10 years from now, the next big superstar is gonna be in. That's
Yeah.
how it goes. We're gonna keep going
Amen.
and going.
I mean,
Yes.
Amen to
Real
that.
Madrid will still be one of the biggest, I mean, if not the biggest, no, the club in the world.
And I
Yeah.
just thought of this now. Maybe this whole Bale Reguilon thing, this might be a little, this might even work in some way of maybe having Harry Kane come to Real Madrid in a year or two. A little swap
Oh
there or
well,
We
who
never
something.
know.
knows?
We never
Yeah.
know.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
I mean, if you look at the clubs where they're at, I mean, with James, he's bigger than Everton. That's the reality. James is
Oh,
bigger than
yeah.
Everton,
Yeah.
Yes,
and that
absolutely.
even pundits in UK, even analysts can't even believe that Everton
Landed the player.
landed a player of James's caliber. I
And they
mean,
can't believe Bale's back in Tottenham either.
yeah, I mean, those two, to be honest, I still have a little bias with them, especially the James. He was my favorite player in the World Cup.
Yeah.
No, he was my favorite player in that 2014 World
James,
Cup.
No doubt,
Yes.
James, man. No doubt. I mean, he's got one of the best left foots in the business. You
Yeah,
know,
I mean
his passing.
the best
You know,
maybe.
he's a great player. But like I said,
Yeah,
he didn't. Something went wrong there. You know that he
yeah,
didn't. Like I said, for him to just give up in the last few months and not fight for that spot, and as a professional to say, "Oh, if I'm not gonna play, wag mo na lang akong dalhin." I
Yeah.
mean, what does that
tama.
say about him, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's not acting professional enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
if you
But Mikey, yeah, I just thought of right now, like their departures may be a blessing in disguise. This can be a wake up call to our current players, and if they show attitude towards the club or having thoughts of leaving, I mean, I mean, this is a perfect example. If you guys want to stay, I mean, don't be like Bill, don't be like James.
yeah,
Simple as that. Simple as that.
you need
Yes.
you need to fight for your
I mean,
spot.
it's happened. I mean, even just in the last few years, what happened to Di Maria? Same thing. His dad asking
He
for
bounced.
1 or 2 million more, and this and that. Out. You don't want to be in Real Madrid? Out. There's somebody else out there.
Yeah.
Every single football player is dying to play for Real Madrid. I can
Yeah.
assure you that.
Actually, Di Maria thought he's going to be bigger than Real Madrid when he left for
No.
Manchester United. But look at what happened in Manchester United.
Yeah.
It didn't really work out with
Yeah.
him there.
Flop of the
Yeah,
season.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
in terms of Ceballos, I think he will do well in Arsenal like we did last year. I still think that he'll still have a use in the squad.
Mm,
And with Akimi, the only thing that I'm frustrated with Akimi is that they didn't give him a buyback clause. I mean, I understand that it's really tough to unseat Carvajal on that right back. It's really tough to unseat Carvajal if you're one of the best in the world in that position. How will you unseat that player? So yeah, I just really hope that they put a buyback with it. But Hakimi will do well in Inter.
Of course, of
With with
course.
with Antonio Conte's system with wing backs. He will do well there since Hakimi is technically a attacking wing back. So yeah,
I
all
mean,
that thing.
you all remember, I'm sure a lot of you remember Robinho, right?
yes, Robinho.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same story.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I want to go to Manchester City to win the Ballon d'Or. Yeah, right.
It's really tough
I
to win
know,
the
right?
Ballon d'Or
Next.
when you
Yeah,
leave Real
right.
Madrid.
I mean, even
Yeah.
just look at Barca. What happened to Neymar? He left Barca. He wants to win the Ballon d'Or from PSG. No, it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
not.
can I can I just say is that leaving Real Madrid or Barcelona will not do good for a career of a player. I mean, it will
Yeah.
revive their maybe some of their skills or maybe
Yeah.
they improve, but you cannot be bigger
Yeah.
than those two clubs anymore when
Yeah.
you have been there.
It's always gonna be a downgrade if you leave Real Madrid. Always, always.
Yeah,
So yeah,
you'll do well with your new club, but it'll never be bigger than Madrid.
yeah.
That's
All
for
right.
sure.
Right. Let's move on to our returnees. I'm gonna have Omar speak. So
Oh,
yep. For returnees, I know Borja Mariel is back from his loan from Levante.
yeah, yeah.
Let's focus on Martin Odegaard. But just to give you guys a brief history of Martin Odegaard, we purchased him as a teenager in 2015. Played a couple years with Castilla, and he made his first senior Real Madrid appearance with Ancelotti when Ancelotti subbed him for Cristiano Ronaldo. Subbed him in for Cristiano Ronaldo in the last match day of the 2014-15 season. He then spent a couple years in the Netherlands, and then Real Madrid loaned him out to Real Sociedad last year, where he surprised everybody for having such a great season. His stats last year, he had 4 goals, he had 6 assists, and played as their main playmaker, and maybe their best player last season. So Omar, what do you think? How is he going to impact Real Madrid? There are reports that Odegaard is ahead of Modric and Isco in the rotations. How's he gonna do? What do you think, Omar?
I think there are matches that should be played by Odegaard. There are matches that should be played by Modric as a starter. But Odegaard has been really good hindi lang din sa Sociedad. It's been really good since his time in Netherlands. He was the man of the match when his former team in Netherlands beat Ajax 4-3, 3-2, something like that. And aside from Odegaard, the player I'm expecting the most is Odriozola. I hope his loan from Bayern really gain him some confidence, some experience, because his time during the 1920 season, the first half of the season was really terrible. You know, he's losing balls, and it's very different from the Odriozola from the 18-19 season, which is kind of better performance than his 1920 performance. And yeah, that's all because wala nang tayo masyadong
Yeah. But
entries.
I'm just gonna Odriozola, he didn't he I think he hardly played for Bayern Munich last year.
Yeah,
Last
yeah,
season. Yeah, during the December towards the Champions League.
yeah,
But yeah, hopefully
yeah.
he
Hopefully,
changes, right? Yeah. I mean, because I
yeah,
think that right back position is very crucial to our
yeah.
team. I mean, we don't want a tired Dani Carvajal, in the starting 11.
Playing always, yeah,
Yeah, and then as you mentioned, as with Martin Odegaard, there should be certain games where we should start Odriozola. Huh?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Let me call on Gian. How do you think, how are we gonna use and utilize Martin Odegaard?
I'm sure Luka Modric will probably be the one giving way because Cruz and Casemiro will still be the main midfielders, I think, for the team.
Are you a Odegaard fan, Mikey?
Yeah. I mean, he played really well with Real Sociedad. I am. I like what I've seen, but playing for Real Madrid is a total. Playing for Real Madrid is a totally different story. At Real Sociedad last year, played really well. I don't know who was saying he was one of. I think you mentioned of one of the best players. I think he was the best player. He definitely was the best player. It's a different story wearing the Chuyurdin jersey of Real Sociedad, the white and blue, compared to putting on the Real Madrid white jersey in front of the Bernabeu with 80,000 fans, all the pressure you have on your shoulders. It's a totally different story. So let's see if he can, you know, take on that pressure, step up and perform, even if it's just 3/4 of what he did at Real Sociedad. I'll be happy with that at the beginning. But we're going to have to see little by little how Zidane utilizes him in the midfield. But yeah, I was very happy with him, but it's very difficult playing for Real Madrid. There's a lot of pressure and not everybody can handle it. I hope
Yeah.
he does. I really hope he does.
I want to talk about two specific players that we have right now, Eden Hazard and Luka Jovic. So will this be a redemption season for them? So Hazard had 1 goal and 6 assists in La Liga, and Jovic, who is just 22, he has 2 goals and 1 assist from last. I mean, even though he hardly played.
Sorry,
So
guys. Kubo's on the bench. Just wanted to mention.
okay, yeah.
I was checking the lineup as well.
So for Hazard and Jovic, is this a redemption season for them, or can Zizou get the most out of them this season? You want to talk? You want to say something, Omar?
Um, just like what Sir Mike said.
Mikey, walang sir.
It's like
We could call him Tito Mikey if you guys want.
Tito
it's
Mike.
like what Mikey said, because it's different when you wear the white jersey. Just like what is happening to Jovic. He was a beast in Frankfurt. Made it in the semifinal of the Europa League with Frankfurt, and now he's it's nothing. He's only scored 2 goals. I mean, we all not expecting that. We all expected him to be a goal scorer, to have more goals than Benzema, which did not happen at all. And what another to Odegaard, and the only problem with him is his injury. I think he have the tendonitis, which is which have no cure, and I trust Sanitas with that, or Real Madrid hospital or medical services, so that I hope they that
Yeah.
problem gets solved. And
Okay.
with
Yeah.
Hazard, I hope we all hoping that he will have his redemption season, because 120 million just to have one goal and 6 assists. That's and we paid Chelsea for because he
Eh,
won the league.
Omar, Hazard is our highest earning
Yeah,
player. He has the highest
with
Yeah.
20
with
million
He's the
20,
wage.
20
highest.
million euros.
Yeah,
So I
freaking
mean,
20
And
million euros.
yeah.
Right.
So
he's the club record transfer.
Yeah.
So I think he really needs to perform. But with
That's a
Hazard,
lot of donuts and cheeseburgers for Hazard.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think we Hazard just been given a first year pass, but I think this is going to be a second crucial year for him. We all know that Bernabeu, the fans are really critical of their superstars, no? And if you can't take the heat, just like Bale, then it's going to be tougher and tougher if you don't really perform. I mean, we all know even Cristiano got whistled at some point in Bernabeu. So,
Everybody,
but
Zidane, Figo, Ronaldo, everybody gets whistled at the Bernabeu. Di Stefano back in the
yes,
field, the greatest player of Real Madrid. Everybody gets. If you don't perform, it's not just performing. They want to see you fight, perform, everything in there. So
yes,
they will whistle you.
they will whistle you even if you're a club legend, and they will one bad performance or one season of bad performance again
Here,
will
guys,
really
back in the 90s, I don't know if you've heard of this, Radomir Antic. He was a coach of Real Madrid back in the 90s. Okay? In the first, I think, 10 La Liga games or less, Real Madrid was top of the table. They were winning their games, top of the table. You know, the fans were doing? They were booing the team because they didn't like what they were seeing, even if they were winning games. What happened? They kicked out Radomir Antic more or less after like how many matches being on top of La Liga. Okay? That's how tough the fans of the Bernabeu are.
they're really tough to impress. And for Jovic, I think Jovic will just have a bounce back season. I mean, like what I said in our group chat, if you can remember, Luka Modric being voted as the worst signing, and that really motivated him to become the maybe one of the best midfielders of Real Madrid's history. And I don't know how Jovic will prove, but I mean with Benzema still performing, with all that, I mean Zidane has to make a role for Jovic. I mean Benzema cannot really carry the team.
Mhm.
Whole year, you know. I
Yeah.
mean Benzema is incredible. Benzema will always be incredible, underrated, and but he cannot really carry the team for a whole season,
Yeah.
just like what he did the past 2 seasons. No? So he really needs a backup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, those are signings. I mean, those players I still
Yeah.
believe will have a bounce back
Yeah.
season.
Jonathan, are you there, Jonathan?
Yep, listening to everyone.
Yeah. So what do you think about Luka Jovic and Eden Hazard? Do you think they'll have you know a great season ahead of them?
Do they have what it takes? Actually, that's the better question. Because I still doubt Hazard. He's beyond his prime. To be quite honest, he was a poor buy for me. For me, he was a wrong buy at the wrong time.
Yeah.
They could have gotten him earlier when Zidane was the coach. The triplet natin na Champions League, they should have gotten him then. But they did not. So it's like prime lang yan, 'di ba? Age lang yan. For Jovic, I'm not sure who got him. I'm not sure if they got him, the sporting director, or did Zidane get him?
Zidane.
I
Because
think Zidane liked
Zidane.
him. Yeah, Zidane
It's
liked
Zidane
him.
called
Zidane.
Jovic.
Zidane requested for him.
okay, for me kasi when I look at Jovic, he does not fit the rhythm of what Real Madrid's setup was at that time. So ako, may gut feel lang ako na, nako, magaling si Jovic sa Frankfurt, super galing. But he will not fit the way the way our team builds up the play, the way they feed, the way they ganyan. Iba kasi yung play ng Frankfurt, if you watch Frankfurt, and the way they fed Jovic, iba yung style and tactics eh. So nung nakita ko, ay okay, great player, pero may doubt ako sa mind ko. Pero si Militao, when they got Militao, and I knew where he came from, and how he would fit as a defensive player, sabi ko, sakto si Militao. Magaling siya, tactically magaling siya mag-read ng feed ng kalaban ng offense. So parang ganoon. So again, you may disagree, that's fine. For me, parang si nag-confirm lang yung gut feel ko na si Hazard was the late na.
Yes,
Late na
yes.
siya, sayang.
29. I think 28, 29. He was bought by the club.
It was funny,
Oh,
yeah.
so parang na siya eh, parang late eh. Tapos he came at the point where the team was coming from a psychological slump because of the triple resignations or what, the double resignation,
Yeah.
di ba? Ni Zidane and ni Cristiano and so forth. So parang yun lang naman sa akin. I may have been wrong and Zidane reads his people much better than we all do. So parang ganun. Iba rin kasi yung play ng Chelsea eh. Iba yung tactics ng Chelsea sa tactics ng Real Madrid eh. Iba eh. Hindi siya apples to apples eh. So the system will not have worked as much effective. Notice this whole season, anong ginagawa ni Hazard when he was playing fit? He was just a bait, but he was not the finisher as he was dependent on sa Chelsea. Okay, yun lang napansin ko. Lahat na parang bait lang siya, tapos pasa, tapos wala. Parang ganun.
I think for Eden Hazard, I think for him to really flourish in Real Madrid, I think he has to be the main player. Like I mean,
exactly, diba? Exactly.
This is like James. Like James is doing so well right now because he's the main player for Everton. But I think right now, like I mean, if we we focus our game with Cristiano Ronaldo when he was still with us, then the previous last season we focused on our defense and with Karim Benzema. But I think if Zidane makes Hazard the main guy of the team, I think he would definitely flourish, right?
Hopefully if he's fit. Yun naman yung
hopefully hopefully all our whatever we're talking about right now,
hopefully everyone's
this is all our predictions. like one at the end of the season we're just gonna play this back and we're just gonna like check if we are correct or not. But yeah,
I mean just to add, parang tactically, Hazard and Benzema loves to drop down and drift wide from the left side. So yun yung nila.
They're both similar players.
They're both similar players. That's why they didn't really work.
Correct.
But when
good
they're
point.
when they're actually in attack, they have a good relationship. But their playing style is so similar that and Benzema's seniority in Real Madrid is far more valuable, that they want to value his tactical style first and they want Hazard to adjust into Benzema's style of play, not the other way around. But unlike Cristiano, if you look at the play of Cristiano and Benzema, they really complemented well because Benzema keeps on feeding Cristiano even though Benzema is a striker.
That's that.
Maganda nga siya, false 10 ang tawag natin kay Benzema imbes na false 9 na mala Messi, di ba? Siya false 10, di ba? False 10 si Benzema, magaling yan eh.
He's a striker by profession, but his style of play is like attacking midfielder.
Correct. False 10, false 9. 9 siya pero false 10 ang laro niya, di ba?
Let me call on Owen. Are you a fan of Eden Hazard or Luka Jovic?
Eden Hazard. Hindi pa ako masyado familiar sa kanila. Kasi bago pa lang talaga ako sa football, so I don't know much about them. Ngayon ko pa lang sila nakikilala.
But of course, Owen. I mean, we always want every player of Real Madrid to succeed, no matter what
Oo.
the news are surrounding them, no matter what the negativity that the press is talking about them in the news. We
Oo.
we we
Talaga
always want
nakatutok sa kanila yung
we're
tao.
gonna yeah we're gonna support them no matter what, di ba, Owen? Okay.
Oo.
All
I'd,
right.
Oo.
I'd like to I hope that Jovic won't go on a loan to other clubs, because I just think if he's going to have his redemption season, it's with Real Madrid. Not I hope it's
Tama,
with Real
tama,
Madrid,
tama.
not
Yeah.
with not with Italian club, not with
He was
and
linked with Milan at some point. Eh.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I hope if we if Zidane, all the Madridistas want Jovic to have a redemption season, um, it must take a lot of risk for Zidane, because you need to stop favoring Benzema to play Jovic
Yeah,
to give
The
time to
French
Jovic.
Yeah.
connection.
he has to play
Oh,
more.
yeah.
That's simple,
Yeah,
Omar.
yeah.
Just play him more.
Yeah.
I mean,
Remember when we were watching the round of 16 UCL final? Zidane put Jovic at the dying minutes. It was like 79th minute, and how can Jovic produce
yeah,
in
I
that
mean, it
span?
was really hoping for a miracle
yeah.
from Jovic.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
It's kind of unproductive though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to add, Omar. Yeah, I think Zizou needs to take his chances, take risk. I mean, Jovic he's a great player. He has a great left foot, a great weak foot, and he has if like his goals from last seasons were like bangers. I mean, those
yeah.
were
Actually, and
The
he
second
has the
goal,
physicality.
and
He
yeah,
has
has
the
the
Agree,
goal.
he has
physicality.
the
agree.
physicality, he has the pace, and but yeah. So I don't know. I mean, like as like we predicted, like the previous season. Why can't Zizou play him along with Benzema? I
Yeah,
mean,
I
He can.
mean,
I think they played
with
like a couple matches together, but a couple matches that's not even enough.
Yeah,
It's not even enough.
Palit-palitan.
with Zizou, it's like he's still loyal to his favorite players from the
Yeah.
first match
Flames, flames,
that
Here, here, here,
yeah, I mean,
here. Yeah, yeah. So
flame,
Lorenz,
flame.
this has been like a revolving topic ever since last season.
Yes.
The French connection. I mean, as much as yeah, as what Jonathan mentioned, and they may be claims, but if they're not performing, play them or
yeah, I
not. But
mean,
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it was really hard to bench Benzema last season, to tell you the
it's
truth.
really tough.
It
I
was hard.
mean,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Yes.
he
hard.
cannot score all the goals, but look at the impact that he's been
Yeah,
doing,
true.
even if he's not scoring goals, he
True.
creates.
Yeah. Okay. So let's move on to our next topic. Let's talk about our tactics and starting lineups for next season. I know Courtois is a lock at this position, along with Ramos and Varane and Mendy and Dani Carvajal. So our
Yes.
our,
Carvajal.
our, our defense, this is already a lock. So I want to talk about our midfield and our forwards. So what do you think, Alvin? How are you gonna line up?
Probably Cruz and Modric for some time will be locked into their position, and of course Casemiro. But as for me, Modric is already for me it's past his prime already. So probably with some of our players, I'm thinking of other options for Modric that can also complement his contributions to the club. But most probably Martin Odegaard will do in that regard. But I'm not really sure about his performance just yet. Maybe his contributions later on. But for me, the tactics. For me, and also Martin Odegaard, he's more of an attacking midfielder. So probably he will complement well with Isco. Isco is still there, right? We're not even talking about him anymore. But he's still, but he's still there. So
Uh-huh.
he will complement well Isco probably, or maybe sometime we'll replace him, or replace him in the starting lineup. So yeah. So if we talk about midfielder, for me, Cruz, Casemiro, and probably if Modric will not be available, Odegaard will do in that regard, but more of an attacking one.
Yeah.
And then and Isco probably will probably later on
So we'll
complement
start.
Cruz.
What do you
Yeah.
think? You do? Will we start with a 4-man midfield, or
Yeah.
a 4-1-2-1-2 with a diamond, with maybe Odegaard as your a central attacking midfield player with
More of a diamond for
a
me.
diamond?
Diamond.
Done.
Yeah.
Okay.
If they will consider Odegaard in that regard, but I've never been a fan of other system than 4-3-3. So 4-3-3 for me it's more of a possession football, right?
Uh-huh.
They've been doing that. Barcelona's been doing that for quite a long time.
Uh-huh.
But Zidane, sometimes he lined up with a 4-4-2. He likes to do
Oh,
that.
disaster.
And sometimes
Yes.
he relies
Disaster.
on, yeah, he relies on more attacking
Crossing.
options.
Yeah.
Sometimes, yeah, on crossing
I,
with the
Cross
Carvajal
and
and
Kalahal.
Marcelo on the flanks.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
And we need faster players. Actually, I've watched some of our games, and what I'm noticing about our attack is lack of fluidity. Sometimes, we're losing
Pace, lack of
possessions. Yeah,
pace.
lack of pace. Exactly. So I think we need more of those players. So again, Odegaard will do in that regard. will do anything. Will do something
Uh,
on that
yeah.
regard. Yeah.
Yeah,
Real
wait.
Madrid
That.
is
Well, sorry. I'm gonna ask the Gian question. So Gian, with Martin Odegaard, back in Real Madrid, do you think maybe Benzema should stop with his link play BS? Sorry, his link play tactics. What do you think, Gian?
I don't know. I don't think we can say that because he's a seniority right now in the team, so he he will do what he will do. That's my take on that.
he's the boss. He's one of the he's one of the
Pelé
he's
is a
our
French.
yeah
yeah.
he's our
Yeah.
leader.
He's
Vive
the
la
third. He's
France.
the
Yeah.
third
Yeah.
captain. Yeah,
Third
the
captain,
third
yeah.
captain.
But yeah, but what do you think, Gian? Who's gonna be our what's our forward lineup gonna be? Are we gonna be 4-4-3, or what Alvin mentioned, for 4-1-2-1, a diamond with two
Um,
strikers, or do you want to go with a conventional striker with two wingers? What do you think? Who's gonna be our starting forward? Our top three or two, or
I
forward
think
three or forward
I,
two?
I think the forwards will be the toughest puzzle for Zidane this season because we still have injury-prone forwards, Hazard and Asensio. So they should be really the ones starting with Benzema. But both are injured right now. So
Yes.
there's Rodrigo and Vini will come in. So will you place Jovic? So that's the biggest puzzle for Real Madrid. But for me, well, 43 and the diamond will depend on our opponent. So
Yeah. I think in
Yeah,
terms of the attack, it should be essential. It really should be, but injuries have been really hurting his chances.
That's true. Like like Renz and Jane, we all have our personal preference of the players that we have right now, and somebody might favor Vini over Hazard, or Rodrigo even over Asensio. So yeah, Omar, who's gonna be our starting attacking lineup? Who's gonna be the front three, or maybe the front two? Or so, what's your prediction, Omar?
Um, I'd like to stay with the 4-3-3 formation because the 4-4-2 it's not working well even when Cristiano is still here. It's not that working. It's not that effective. 4-3-3 is the best. It's the best formation for us. And I'd like to go with the trident. It's Cruz, Casemiro, and Modric. And I'd like to see that Isco and Odegaard action during maybe in the Copa del Rey, in the early stage of the Copa del Rey.
So Omar, you don't think that that Martin Odegaard is a starter, huh?
Nah,
You
nah.
don't think?
I trust the trident.
But
I
but
trust
but
the trident.
but Omar, we're all, I think we're all forgetting about somebody, Valverde.
Valverde,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, but it's a
So
replacement of Cruz. I think Valverde always produce. Like he always play well when he gets sub on. It's not that bad like Ilyaramendi.
Actually, Valverde and Cruz has been one of the most used midfield
Yeah,
tandems aside
yeah.
from Modric. And I think Valverde is more like Modric except for the passing, but the work rate of Valverde is very good,
Yeah.
and he really complements the attack with his work rate. So I think
yeah,
I mean this is the an opinion from me.
yeah. So
Uh,
yeah. Yeah, so Mikey is a he's a former player, and he used to coach in
Did
Manila.
I miss anything? Sorry.
No, so right now we're talking about the tactics and lineups, and who would be, what would our lineups be?
I just,
So I mean,
can I
you
just
have you have coaching experience, so I think you're the best person to answer this question.
can I just give my opinion of, I think you were talking about when I left Jovic and Hazard.
Mm-hmm.
Jovic, yeah, I think he should step up this year. It's time. Like somebody was saying, yeah, he was a beast in Frankfurt. He scored so many goals and this and that. But like I keep saying, playing for Real Madrid is a different story. Playing in Eintracht de Frankfurt in the Bundesliga, I mean, the Bundesliga's not a good league. I mean, you have Bayern Munich and Dortmund. That's it. So the opponents Jovic was playing up against every weekend was very mediocre, except the days he played against Bayern Munich and Dortmund. That's it. That's all. So yeah, he can do well in playing in a mediocre league, but when he comes to La Liga, it's a different story. Hazard, Hazard. I don't agree with somebody was saying that it wasn't the right time to sign him. I think it is. He just had a great World Cup. He's been delivering at Chelsea the last, I don't know, 5 to 7 years, being named one of the best players in the Premier League every season. So I think it was a good land. And stats show that football players are at their peak between 27 till they're like 32, 33. That's the peak of a player. It's not when he's 20, 21, 22. No. A peak of a football player is usually when they're 27 till around 32 years old. So I think Hazard, he's right there right now. He was unlucky with injuries, 2, 3 injuries in one season. I don't think it's ever happened to him in the Chelsea. So he was unlucky, unfortunate. His last injury, due to the whole COVID situation, he wasn't able to begin his recovery right because of the lockdowns and all these situations. So when he came back, he wasn't 100%. And as a player, if you don't do your recovery well, you're not 100%. That affects you up here mentally because your knee, your ankle isn't going to respond how you want to. So when you go into a tackle, when you do a move, you're not doing it 100%. So that affects your game big time. And then now the issues Hazard is having, I'm sure you've all seen his pictures where he weighs like 100 kilos. Um, he has a gut like Homer Simpson right now. So that's also affecting him because he can't do his recovery properly because he's not at the right weight to do the 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 exercises he's got to do. So that's going to take time for him to recover that ankle as well. So let's see. But I'm expecting big things from him this season with him at 100%, Benzema, and with Asensio as well. Those three, I think, those should be the three key players in the forward line. Of course, you have Vinicius and Rodrigo there waiting, but I think it's really up to, depending on how Hazard, Benzema, and Asensio do. I think it's going to be a big, that's what's going to lead us to see if Madrid can win big things this year. That's what I think.
Yeah.
And you're asking me about lineups, Alan. You're talking about Odegaard. Honestly, for me right now,
Is he a starter for you as of this
for
moment?
me right now, no. For me right now, no, because he hasn't proven anything. He's just got into the team. He hasn't proven anything. You got Casemiro. I don't think Casemiro is going to really be a big part regarding Odegaard because they don't play the same position. But you got Modric still there, which Zidane trusts 100%. So you got Modric, Kroos, Isco, Valverde. You got these players who are still there, and they've proven in some way. This boy, he's just stepped into the team. He hasn't proven anything. But if he starts playing, if he starts tomorrow against Real Sociedad, he does well. The next game, he's gonna have to show it, and and in training, not just to us on TV in the games, but every day in training, Zidane, which we don't get to see. So we don't really know what's happening in training. Maybe he's really kicking ass there, and Zidane makes him start. Great.
Uh-huh.
But I think he's going to have to prove it. To us, yeah, but what we see. But every day in training at Valdebebas, he's going to have to prove it to Zidane and his teammates. So for now, I'm not sure if he's going to be a regular starter. He might start tomorrow. Zidane will give him that. Playing against Real Sociedad, he's going to have something to prove. Maybe. So no, but I think he's going to have to prove it. I think the starting lineup's not going to be a big change from last year. Same goalkeeper, same defense, either Mendy or Marcelo. I think he's going to go with Mendy with most of the games. Of course, Marcelo's going to get a lot of playing time too. Midfield, I think the midfield is going to be the same story as well. Maybe, subbing. There's going to be, I think, a lot of rotation between Modric and Kroos with Isco, Valverde, and Odegaard. Casemiro, sadly, doesn't have a replacement right now.
I think for Casemiro, they're grooming Antonio Blanco from the team.
I was gonna mention that.
Yeah, but we'll have to see that too.
Yeah.
Still very young.
I mean, he's very young.
Still very young.
We'll see.
And Real Madrid, the player who they really want is the guy who plays for Rennes.
Yeah, Camavinga.
That's what they really want. But that's not happening now. So right now, there's no replacement for Casemiro unless you decide to change tactics. You're talking about coaching. Maybe you can go for a 4-2-3-1, play two players, Valverde and Kroos, maybe, or Valverde and Odegaard, and then you play with 3 attacking midfielders and one player on top. We'll see. And then on top, I think there's not, like I said, there's not going to be a lot of changes. I mean, it's not like there's a lot to pick from last year. It's the same faces. So until Hazard doesn't recover, and hopefully Asensio's okay, because a few weeks ago when he was called up to play for Spain, he had to go back home because he was feeling some knee issues. So,
there was like inflammation in his knee.
Yes,
there was like a lot of liquid.
I'm not sure he's
There's like liquid. There was like liquid forming in his knees. So,
yeah. So most probably tomorrow we're gonna see Benzema, Rodrigo, and Vinicius up front. There's nobody else. And like I said, Jovic. I'd like to see more of him. I don't think Zidane gave him much. As a player, especially as a goal scorer, you cannot come out every week and play 5 minutes. Next weekend another 10 minutes. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It's very hard for a striker. You need to get some rhythm. You need to get some rhythm there. So I think Zidane, it's about time, like especially in the Copa del Rey or against easier teams. Give Jovic that chance. Let him play the 90 minutes. Especially Copa del Rey. Maybe give him a run of like 3-4 games straight. In the first rounds. of the Copa del Rey,
That's true.
or even the Champions League against weaker teams. You know, when it begins, give him the chance because I think he can score too. You know, or maybe
Yeah.
sometimes try playing both of them. You know, as well. So I just think he needs a little more playing time. I don't think
Yeah.
he got all the playing time he deserved last year. Because like you were saying, like we've been saying, you know, in Real Madrid, if you don't do well, they're gonna start booing you and they're gonna pressure you. And I think that's what happened to Jovic. You know, last year he had certain games, he came in, he didn't score. So, you know, that one game you don't score, that's pressure. You're as a player, you're thinking already, oh shit, I wasn't able to score. You know, so you're pressured. The
Yeah.
next game you come in, I have to score. I'm gonna come in, try to score. Next game he came, I think he scored. They called offside, so it wasn't counted, diba? So
Yeah, that was a weird game. That was a
malas
weird
naman
game.
yun.
Agree,
I
Next
agree,
think
game
that,
agree.
he came, next game he came in, boom, he hit the post. You know, so that's all in your mind. It keeps going and going, and you keep thinking
yeah,
about it.
and
And
it's all mental.
It's
it is
freaking
mental.
mental.
It is mental. Everything is mental. You
I
know,
think
in
that
football,
happened
it's
to
all in the head.
at some point in with
So,
Vinicius. Yeah.
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 Yeah,
yes,
you remember when he scored the goal and he cried?
Right.
Yeah.
yes.
Pasuna.
He was releasing all that pressure, all that
And
tension,
emotions.
all that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I mean, there's so much pressure, not just the fans, but the 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 journalists who follow Real Madrid every
Yes.
single game. You know, there's a lot of pressure. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, we discussed our the starting lineups and possible tactics by Zizou, and yep. Thanks for sharing the your personal opinions about how we should line up. Especially we have a match tomorrow, so let's see. And I think we're all excited for the match and how Zizou would use his players tomorrow. So I'm going to move on to the next topic. Let's move on to Rival Watch. So as we all know, there's a term. I mean, let's just put it in
Yeah,
general.
right. What?
So let's just put it in general. So for our Rival Watch, I mean, there's a turmoil currently in Barcelona. Then you have Atletico with a disappointing season again and again, and then Sevilla, who won the Europa League with Rakitic back and with a pretty promising starting 11. And then
Yeah.
we have Villarreal with the addition of Parejo and Kubo, and the striker Gerard Moreno, who was the top third goal scorer of the league last season, behind
Or
Messi and Benzema. And then we have an aging David Silva who just joined Real Sociedad, who I think were still a great team, and Valencia still with a good team, even with their current financial crisis that led them to sell majority of their players. Who's going to be this season's dark horses?
Valencia.
Yeah, for me, it's going to be Villarreal.
Yeah.
What
I
do you
think
mean by dark horses?
dark horses where, I mean, they could like totally like you could
Surprise you.
surprise you. Yeah, they could
Oh,
surprise you
I
They
thought
can pounce you anytime.
mali yung
anytime.
Yeah.
You could lose points anytime.
yeah.
You could lose
I'll go
points.
with Villarreal.
Why Villarreal, Omar?
Oh, because they have a good lineup. They have Kubo, they have Alcacer, they have the other one is the Coquelin.
Moreno.
Yeah, Moreno is the top scorer of
Wala.
Spain, Spanish.
And the African winger.
Benzema.
Yeah.
And yeah, they have that Estepinian, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's all good. They can go with other teams like Barca, Madrid, Atletico.
Yeah.
Uh, we'll see, and then I hope Kubo improves a lot with them.
Yeah. What about you, Alvin? Who's gonna be this season's dark horses? I
Well,
mean,
it's tough.
I mean,
Yeah,
we have Barcelona, we have Atletico, so we're gonna like throw them out of the equation.
yeah.
But
Obviously, yeah.
who do you think is gonna surprise the league?
I think I'm gonna agree with Omar about Villarreal. They're I mean I've been following our club for some years now, and Villarreal still pounces us like they can still get some points from us, even in a draw, or maybe sometimes, a draw is a draw, but it's still painful to us, right? They've been doing that for some time now. That even in that restart, I think we drew with them in the last game, right? That last game of the season. So I think Villarreal, they have very good players also. Valencia, I don't really think they can perform well this season. Not just because of their current squad. They had, some players. I've been looking for their players right now.
Yeah.
There's nothing much actually. There's nothing much.
or on
In
academy.
the yeah. I'm not worried that much about Valencia. More on Villarreal. They can still pounce. They can still. I'm still afraid of Villarreal, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
When we're up against them, like in any game, like maybe in Copa del Rey or maybe in La Liga, I'm still worried about Villarreal because they can absolutely pounce. That's all.
Yeah. I think whenever we go against up against Villarreal, it has always been a, a tough match for us. You
Yeah,
know.
especially at home, away at Villarreal, at their home turf, it's always a tough game.
Yes,
And
that's correct.
remember, it's
Yeah.
still we still have
Can I just
Cristiano,
share
where
Go ahead, Renz.
I mean, can I just share another a surprising team right now? I think this is one of the most unpopular dark horse that we can give in La Liga right now, which is Getafe. If you check Getafe's games, they have really been improving, especially their defensive structure. And if you look at last season, two of our toughest games came from the games from Getafe
Mhm.
and Bordalas. Their
Yeah.
coach has been really a good coach with the team that they have, and they also
Yeah.
have their good players with Jaume Mata. Yeah.
Perela.
And their squad currently is yeah, and I mean their squad is really underrated. They're also their goalkeeper David Soria. I mean one of the most underrated keepers in the league right now.
Yeah.
I mean this team is really dangerous in defense.
I
It's really tough to break them with their 4-4-2 formation.
Yeah, I think Renz, last season, Getafe was at one time top of the league. I mean, during the first few games, like
Yes.
Getafe, uh, they were really promising. But what about Sevilla, guys? What do you guys think about Sevilla with Rakitic back, and with they just won the Europa League,
I
and
hope they beat
I
Barca.
think they have pretty great players in Sevilla. I mean,
Yeah,
they have a. I mean, like if you check their
Mm.
lineup,
for,
they have a pretty good squad.
yeah, for me, I think they can still perform well in this season. Sevilla with the fresh Europa League trophy that they have won just recently. I think it's a big morale booster to them.
And they'll face
And
Bayern.
and definitely Lopetegui will bring out the best in with Rakitic coming back. I think he's very excited to leave Barcelona and play again for his former club. And I think he'll gonna perform well. In Sevilla,
Yeah.
always a dark horse, one of those dark horses, not just Villarreal for us, because Sevilla, I think, over the past few years, Sevilla has been improving a lot. Like they had Unai Emery as a coach.
Yeah.
Then they got right now Lopetegui. They've been winning Europa League for just like for fun. They had this three-peat of Europa Leagues.
Actually,
Then
their sporting director is really good.
yeah. So Sevilla will still be a team to reckon with. And of course, we will still relish the challenge laid out by other teams. Yeah, I would agree with Getafe. They are quickly improving. I started noticing Getafe, I think, last season. Not this finish season, but the other season. Getafe has been improving a lot. And you know, do you still think other teams, probably, for me, Bilbao, they are
Well,
still laying the challenge? Yeah, Bilbao.
Bilbao.
Yeah, Bilbao. Their fans are absolutely nuts sometimes.
Mhm.
They can still inflict us with maybe more of a
Mhm.
psychological advantage to
Yes,
us,
yes.
especially
There are
when
no,
we play
remember,
against them in San Mames. Yeah, it's
there are
always
no
tough.
fans now.
San Mames
There are
is,
no fans.
There's no
really
fans
There
of
are
it.
no fans.
Oh
terrifying
my goodness!
place.
Thank goodness for that.
but yeah, but I think, I mean, just to sum it up, I think, we have Villarreal with their recent purchases. I think they're gonna really make them a dangerous team, and
Yeah.
I think we just really gotta prepare for them
Yeah.
when we go up against them, huh?
This
Yeah,
season is
yeah.
exciting.
So I think we shouldn't take too long on this topic. I mean, we have Barcelona, who was still Barcelona. We have Atletico, and who's still Atletico. But yeah,
Yes.
I just wanted to focus on particular matches where we could possibly lose points if Zidane does not prepare the team. Yeah. But yeah, so let's move on to our last topic. This is going to be a fairly easy topic for everybody. But yeah, so last topic for the night. Who do you guys think will be Real Madrid's key player for this season, for a successful La Liga campaign for next season? So as we all know, Benzema was our best player last season, alongside with Courtois and Sergio Ramos, and we could add Casemiro part of the list. But which of the stars will shine the brightest? So I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start with this one. I'm gonna go around and ask everybody. So I'll start. I'll go for Eden Hazard. I think he will silence his doubters, and I think he will go on and have a stellar and magnificent season, and will be Madrid's best player. So my prediction: 16 goals, 12 assists. This is just my prediction, guys. So as long as he stays healthy, as long as he stays not injured, and as long as he stays away from paella and churros and sangrias, he will be Real Madrid's best player. That's my bold prediction. I'm gonna start with Gian. Gian, who's gonna be Real Madrid's key player for this season?
Well, I think I agree with you if there's no injury, but if Hazard is still injured, I think I'll go with Courtois right now.
Mm.
He will be our savior on most games.
That's bad. That's bad.
Hopefully
Yeah.
not, but that's my.
That
Yeah.
means that means the team is screwing up and Courtois has to save their ass.
Yeah,
That's bad.
it's like a black with
Yeah,
Atletico.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Whenever,
Absolutely.
Uh,
Yeah.
It's accurate.
whenever your goalkeeper is the best player, man of the match, that's not a good sign, guys.
I agree. Yeah, so let me move on to Owen. Owen, who do you think will be our best player for this season?
Hmm, I'm, teka, parang
I
naisip ko din si Hazard. Parang gusto ko pagbigyan si Hazard. Kasi pag narinig ko si Hazard from mga history na he's good. Oh, siguro nga, magaling siya. Pero hindi rin lang kasi makapanood ng football dahil hindi maganda yung reception sa phone ko. Pero I hear a lot from Hazard na magaling siya. So, I'll give also a chance to him.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Owen, for sharing. Let me call on Jonathan. Jonathan, who do you think will be our best player for this season? Who is the key for the 35th title?
Um, for me, I think what will the player will be a breakout if given again. It's the big if given a chance. Actually, it's Martin Odegaard because he's able to see lines that others cannot, and he's able to create lines of passing which can be easily gobbled up by Vinicius, Rodrigo, Asensio, and Benzema in between the lines. If again, it's a big if Zidane is able to trust him enough to create to have that creativity of play. Kasi nakita natin sa Real Sociedad he was trusted enough towards the middle and end of the season, not at the beginning, but nung na-prove niya yung sarili niya, tama si Mikey, where if you prove yourself trustworthy of, being an impact player, so to speak, then you'll be given more chance. So nakita ko, he can easily be a sub of Modric and vice versa, silang dalawa, Cruz and Isco on the other side. Casemiro, the the non-negotiable for many. Pwede naman paltan ni ni Valverde depending on the role, or the team that they're competing against. I think he could be a maybe not the best player, but the most impact for people to shine. Kasi he can create. He's like a Ozil. He's like an Ozil sa vision.
All right, thanks, Jonathan. I mean, I just want to ask Mikey a follow-up question. Because like what, as we mentioned, like from the previous talk and right now, I mean, like Luka Jovic, he's been a star in the Bundesliga, but for Martin Odegaard, he's a star in La Liga with Real Sociedad. So maybe just maybe Martin Odegaard is the real deal. Huh, Mikey? I mean,
That's what I put.
he's in La Liga. He's already in La Liga, right?
Yes.
So
exactly. That's what I told you. We're gonna have to see it.
Okay.
Right? He's gonna have to prove it. That's what I was telling you earlier.
Yeah.
He's used to playing in La Liga, yes, a better league than compared to Germany. But like the fellow he just mentioned earlier, he was playing in Real Sociedad. Like I said, it's different playing for Real Madrid. First of all, you play in Real Sociedad, you play against other teams. They're gonna come out and try to play against you and, give you space and give you time. When you play for Real Madrid, teams sit back. You have no space.
Okay. Yeah.
You have no space to create maybe those in between the lines. Maybe the space in between the lines isn't there. Teams are sitting back. You have to create, and it's a different way of playing. It's a different way of, it's totally different. When, you're playing in Real Sociedad, you have teams, their defensive line is maybe almost in the half line. Playing for Real Madrid, you're playing against a team playing 4-4-2, and you got those two lines of four inside their box where there's space.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all,
Yeah.
it's
So
difficult.
Getafe, like Getafe.
it's totally different. It's a totally different
Yeah.
ball game.
Yeah.
But like I told you, he's gonna have to show it, and we'll see. I mean, I trust the guy. I mean, I'm number one here who wants to see Odegaard play like he played in Real Sociedad. But it's not gonna be easy. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's the only thing I'm saying. It's not gonna be easy because it's not the same playing, with 30 meters of space behind the defense before you reach the box,
Yeah.
than playing with the defensive line right in the edge of the box. Odegaard was putting those through balls to Oyarzabal, to Isaac. They had all that space behind those teams they were playing against. Like when we played, like when they played against. Why did Real Sociedad, when they played against Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey, they beat Real Madrid? Why? Because there was so much space behind Sergio Ramos and Varane for Isaac and Oyarzabal to take advantage of.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Thanks for opening that. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah.
it's different. It's different.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you opened, our eyes of, how Martin Odegaard, and his maybe his future role. And yeah, he still has to prove himself. But yeah, let's move on to Alvin. Who's gonna be the key player for Real Madrid's 35th La Liga title?
Yeah, the captain himself. Probably. Yeah, the captain himself, Sergio Ramos. I mean, for me, Sergio Ramos filling up the shoes of Iker Casillas has been the best decision the club has ever done for the past few years, because Sergio Ramos has been very integral to the success of the club. Lifting 3 Champions Leagues in a row, and then giving us the 34th title. It's all through the leadership of Ramos, and whether we like it or not, maybe you like his style of play or not, he's still the big guy. He's still the guy, in our club. He's been in the club for since 2005. So and he has proven a lot to our club, and still he can still score big goals, and maybe
Yes.
the memory of 92 minute, 48 second in 2014 Champions League final, you know it will still linger in the annals of Real Madrid, that
Yes,
La
yes.
Decima goal, that equalizing goal against Atletico. It will always be the best moment ever for me, so I'm gonna count on Ramos. And if I may add also, uh I'm rooting for Hazard. If he will regain his center of gravity in his ass, probably, because he has a big ass.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
an
I
it's
mean,
an
it's
asset of his.
yeah, it's an asset. So I've seen his play. I've seen his style of play at Chelsea all the time. In the Premier League, he's one of the best. It's not the best. So I'm still looking for that Hazard effect in the club. And Hazard, for me, he's not a late signing. It's just in the right time. uh, I know he can still prove a lot to our club. And given that he will not have that injury recurring from time to time, he
Uh-huh,
will give
uh-huh.
us a lot of goals, a lot of assists, a lot of running, a lot of maybe another Gareth Bale in the making. We don't know.
Never.
He's very fast.
Yes,
He's
yes.
a fast player. He is. So
A guy
I'm counting
Bale in
on
the
these
making.
players. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Gardo making.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
In
So
what
so
in
yeah.
what
So
way?
this yeah. So these people, these guys, I'm really rooting for them. But most
Okay.
especially Sergio Ramos. He
Okay.
will still be our guy.
All
That's
right.
it.
All right. Yeah. All right, Alvin, thanks for sharing. I see AIDS with his camera on. So AIDS, who do you think will be Real Madrid's key player this season?
And the Belgians,
Is
Hazard and
Belgium,
Courtois.
Courtois.
Courtois?
Courtois and Hazard.
Courtois and
First off,
Hazard.
Hazard, he has to, because his season was not that good as it was supposed to be.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And I mean, until he needs to work on his weight problems though, for him to for him to get back to his Chelsea form, which would make him impactful to our squad. And as well, Courtois, since he's already overcome his anxiety problems, and
Mhm.
he has already shown what he's capable of. He's a world class keeper. But what he did with Belgium in the latter part of the last season. So
Mhm.
those two, I think,
All
would
right.
be
Yeah.
the keys to
Thank. Yeah.
our 35th.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing,
Yep.
AIDS. Let me move on to Renz. Renz, who do you think will be our key player for this season?
Yeah, for me, I agree with Alvin. And this is going to be very crucial. Sergio Ramos will always be very crucial to Real Madrid every year. The captain himself. I mean, the intangibles. You have to consider the intangibles that he brings. The leadership. I mean, they say that's really tough to accomplish more things when you already accomplished a lot of things. I mean, winning 3 Champions League is not really a joke. And as well, winning a lot of titles, staying for the club 15 years, no, it's really tough to motivate a team that already won a lot. But with Sergio Ramos, I think he still wants to win more. I think he's really dreaming of a treble. That's why.
Mhm.
Couldn't, yeah.
Yeah, I hope
I
so.
mean, every Madrid fan wants to see a treble, and that Sergio Ramos will always be crucial. We already seen that in the Manchester City game, how everything was really
Change.
scrambling without him.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
Sergio Ramos will still be crucial.
Okay.
This is not the. I mean, forget about the stats because he really brings the intangibles. He scores the goals. I mean, pundits really criticize his way of defending, but his leadership skill is really important, and he's the key if they want to go with another back-to-back title this year, and hopefully other Champions League.
Okay, thanks, Ren. We have two more, Omar and Mikey. I'm gonna start with Omar. Omar, who's gonna be our
Uh,
key player?
Same, it's gonna be Sergio Ramos because Sergio Ramos has been in La Liga since 2005. You can't break him down mentally. You can't break him down physically, and he's been really consistent. Sergio Ramos is like the guy who's gonna say, if you want to defeat Real Madrid, you have to go through me. And he's been winning the FIFA award consistently since 2008. He won it last year, 2019. And yeah, you can't. Sergio Ramos, his mind is really really good. He's been into Camp Nou, to Wanda, to Estadio Calderon. And yeah, the fans can break him down, whatever happens. That's all.
Yeah. Cool, Omar. Last, Mikey. Who do you think
Yes.
who do you think is our key player for Real Madrid's 35th league title? If of
Um,
all the players, select one.
oh, it's so hard. It's so hard to just give one, but of course, I mean, like Renz and Omar just said about Ramos, it's that leadership he brings, that mentality. I think he transmits to the rest of his teammates. That winning mentality. We've all seen, while everyone's complaining about Hazard, his weight, we've been seeing Ramos non-stop, just working out and, even on vacation. And the guy's 34, 35, and he's just working his ass off every single day. So I think that leadership he brings, that he transmits to the rest of the teammates, I think that's really going to be one of the keys. And I'd like to say also, let's not forget, I think Benzema. I think for Madrid to win trophies, Benzema is gonna be at the top of his game. Because we all know there's not much replacement for Benzema. If you want to win games, you need to score goals. You're not gonna win a game if you don't score goals. So Benzema's the number one guy up there to score the goals for the team. So I think Benzema is gonna have to have a great season. If you want to see them lifting any trophies. And another guy I'd want to see also step up and have a great season is Asensio, for sure. So those are the names I'm going to give you.
All right, cool. So yeah, I mean, I think we tackled all the topics. So yeah, just to close. So yep, that's it for Madrid Talk PH season 2, episode 1. So I think this has been a great discussion in which we tackled the key topics, for the season, a preview, and predicted, who will perform well, and how we will be lining up this upcoming season. So like, this is Real Madrid, and as Madridistas, we always aim to win every game, and we will fight, and we will never give up, no matter how stacked the odds are against us. So as long as we are still in contention, and as we learned from the previous season, don't give up. And as Madridistas, we should never lose the faith, because we will fight till the end. So yeah, all for the 35th La Liga title. So thanks for joining, and Hala Madrid.
Hala Madrid. Hala Madrid.
Hala Madrid. Hala Madrid.